Ever imagine yourself on the open ocean, not just cruising along, but like actually keeping a massive ship's heart beating?
Uh-huh.
That's a marine electrician's world, and today we're diving deep into it.
Yeah.
We're cracking open RoleCatcher's career guide, going beyond like the job description to see if this unique path is truly worth charting.
Yeah, it's a career more vital than ever.
Yeah,
Especially now that ships are practically floating cities powered by tech.
right.
Forget a blown fuse. Imagine entire cooling systems for cargo holds full of, say, exotic fruits,
Ah,
all relying on you.
okay, that's a mental image.
I,
I'm already picturing the help wanted sign electrician needed for banana boat bound for Fiji. Must troubleshoot temperamental touchscreens while riding out a squall. But seriously, the guy gets into how it's not just fixing things, it's systems thinking.
exactly.
Yeah.
One example that comes to mind. Modern ships use dynamic positioning systems to stay perfectly still during offshore operations.
Okay.
Think like drilling or delicate cargo transfers.
Wow.
Imagine the precision needed. A marine electrician isn't just connecting wires, they're ensuring that entire system functions flawlessly no matter the conditions.
This guide makes it clear. It's as much about diagnostics as it is about a wrench. And speaking of those conditions, let's be real. They highlight how good salary comes with some trade-offs.
Huh?
Long hours, sometimes cramped spaces, and let's not forget you're on a ship.
Yeah. That's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I recall a story from a seasoned marine electrician about a time he had to fix a critical system during a storm.
Oh, no.
Imagine troubleshooting a jumble of wires in a swaying pitching engine room. It takes a special kind of resilience.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why RoleCatcher, emphasizing upskilling, is so spot on. It's competitive out there.
So you're saying even with steady demand, just meeting the minimum isn't enough anymore?
Exactly. The industry isn't booming, so you need an edge.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Everyone on a ship has a role, but the skilled ones, they get offered the interesting voyages, the promotions.
Right.
Certifications are your passport to those opportunities.
Speaking of which, the guide lays out 4 career stages. Assistant, project led. It sounds like you could go from wiring cabins to overseeing a whole fleet's electrical systems. It's like choose your own adventure, but instead of a magic sword, you're wielding a multimeter.
I like that. And it's true, you start with the basics, but experience is key. The guide mentions, like years of on-the-job training,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Every ship is different. Technology is always evolving. It's a career where you're constantly learning.
And that's where things get really interesting. We can't talk about the future of any skilled trade without mentioning the AI wave.
Right?
I mean, even RoleCatcher uses it for resume help.
But, yeah, it's not just about finding jobs. It's about doing them differently.
Right.
Imagine this.
Yeah.
You're on a ship and an alarm goes off.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, you'd grab your trusty multimeter and start tracing wires.
Yeah.
Now, AI-powered diagnostics can pinpoint the issue instantly,
Oh, wow.
even predict potential failures before
Yeah.
they happen.
So instead of spending hours in the bowels of the ship, you're now using data to work smarter, not harder. But what does this mean for someone considering this path? Do they need to become a coding whiz alongside their electrical skills?
That's the million-dollar question. It's not about replacing electricians with robots yet,
Yeah.
but it is about a new kind of expertise. Knowing how to work with AI, interpreting its data, understanding its limitations. That's the future of the trade. And that's why this deep dive is so important for anyone intrigued by this field. We're not just talking about what a marine electrician does, but what they'll need to become to thrive in a world increasingly reliant on technology.
And speaking of becoming, let's look closer at those career stages the guide lays out. Because becoming a master of the high voltage seas isn't a quick process. Where do you even begin?
You're right. It's a journey, not a quick dip in the ocean. The guide starts with the assistant marine electrician. Think of it like an apprenticeship. You're learning on the job, maybe assisting with wiring, getting familiar with the ship's systems. It's about building that foundation,
Yeah.
proving you can handle the, literal nuts and bolts.
So you're the rookie handing over the right tools, probably getting sent for that one specific cable tie buried deep in the hold, but then you level up. What's next on this electrifying career ladder?
Next, you likely progress to a role like a marine electrician, where you're tackling more complex tasks independently.
Okay.
Think troubleshooting those like finicky navigation systems,
Right.
maybe even handling some installations. The guide emphasizes this is where experience really starts to matter.
Sure.
Building that mental library of, I've seen this before, and here's the fix.
Okay, so you're not just following instructions anymore. You're trusted to make judgment calls. I bet this is where those late night calls from the middle of the ocean start rolling in. Hey, remember that thing you fixed 3 voyages ago?
Huh.
But hey, with experience comes responsibility and, according to the guide, potential leadership
Or
roles.
clutch it on.
Eh.
The guide then highlights the possibility of becoming a lead marine electrician. Now, you're supervising others, maybe overseeing projects like installing a new radar system
Right.
or upgrading the ship's electrical grid for more energy efficiency. Think big picture stuff, coordinating teams, managing budgets, the works.
Talk about a power surge in responsibility. You've gone from that wide-eyed assistant to the one everyone's looking to when things get sparky, but hold on, there's one more level, right? The guide mentions a stage that's less about hands-on and more about, well, leading the entire electrical symphony.
You're talking about the top tier roles like electrical superintendent or chief electrical engineer. These are the maestros of the ship's electrical systems,
Wow.
overseeing everything from maintenance and repairs to planning for upgrades and new technologies.
Wow. From swapping out light fixtures to charting the electrical future of a whole fleet, it sounds like the view from the top of that career ladder is pretty spectacular. But let's get back to dry land for a second. How does someone even begin climbing this ladder? What are the essential skills someone needs to even think about becoming a marine electrician? Is it all about knowing your way around a circuit board?
Technical skills are essential, absolutely.
Hmm.
You need a strong foundation in electrical theory, wiring, troubleshooting,
Right.
all that good stuff. But the guide also highlights some, often overlooked qualities that are just as crucial.
Okay.
Think about it. You're on a ship, sometimes for months at a time, often in challenging conditions.
Okay, so you're saying being a people person is as important as being a wiring whiz.
Exactly. The guide stresses the importance of teamwork and communication.
Right.
You'll be working closely with engineers, mechanics, crew members from all walks of life. Being able to explain technical issues clearly, listen to others, and work collaboratively is key.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about problem-solving skills.
Right.
Things can go wrong on a ship, and when they do, you need to be able to think on your feet, adapt to unexpected situations, and find solutions under pressure.
So a cool head under pressure, a knack for explaining things to those who don't speak voltage, and the ability to troubleshoot in a hurricane. Sounds like the job description for a superhero, but with fewer capes and more safety boots. But what about those all-important certifications? The guide throws around a few, like ABYC and NMEA. I'm guessing those aren't just fancy abbreviations for knows how to use a screwdriver.
You're right. Those certifications are like gold stars on your resume. They demonstrate a commitment to professional development and prove you've got the knowledge to meet industry standards.
Okay.
Take the ADYC electrical certification, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
It covers a wide range of marine electrical systems and is highly regarded in the industry. Then you have the NMEA certifications,
Right.
which focus more on marine electronics.
Okay, so NMEA is for those who geek out on radar and sonar, the brains of the ship's navigation, right? It sounds like these certifications are crucial for anyone serious about moving up that career ladder. But with technology advancing at warp speed, are those classic skills enough? We talked about AI earlier. Is that something aspiring marine electricians should be studying alongside their electrical diagrams?
It's a great question, and the answer is becoming increasingly clear. Yes, AI is infiltrating every aspect of the maritime industry,
Right.
from navigation and engine management to energy efficiency and predictive maintenance.
So it's not just about fixing what's broken anymore. It's about using data to anticipate problems before they even happen.
Yes.
That's a whole other level of expertise. But let's be honest, with all this talk of AI and complex systems, some people might be wondering, is there still a place for the human element in this field? Or will marine electricians of the future be replaced by robots armed with soldering irons and algorithms?
That's where it gets really interesting. While AI can certainly enhance efficiency and streamline tasks, it's not about replacing humans altogether.
Okay.
At least not yet. Think of it as a collaboration.
Okay, so like a high-tech first mate, AI can lend a hand, but the marine electrician is still the captain of those electrical systems. Tell me more about this human-AI partnership on the high seas.
Picture this. You're on a ship, say, middle of the Pacific,
Okay.
and a critical system throws a code.
Mm-hmm.
Now, AI, right? AI might be able to analyze that code instantly and give you a list of potential culprits. But it's the human eye that can spot a loose connection, a corroded wire, or a subtle vibration that the sensors missed.
Right.
It's about combining, AI's analytical power with that human intuition and experience.
So it's like having a superpowered sidekick, but you still need to know which wrench to grab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This isn't about replacing skilled tradespeople. It's about giving them superpowers.
Right.
And that's, I think, incredibly exciting for anyone entering this field. You're not just learning a trade. You're learning to work at the cutting edge of technology.
Okay, I'm sold on the superpowers part.
Yeah.
But with all this talk of high-tech ships and AI assistance, let's not forget the human side of things.
Yeah.
The guide mentioned something about marine electricians being part of a tight-knit community,
Yeah.
almost like a floating family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you're out at sea for weeks or even months at a time, the people you work with become your family.
Yeah.
You share meals, stories, and the occasional late-night troubleshooting session.
Right.
When a system decides to act up in the middle of nowhere, it's a unique camaraderie that you don't find in many other professions.
That resonates with me. I bet those shared experiences, the challenges overcome together, create bonds that go way beyond just clocking in and out.
Right, and those connections often extend beyond the ship itself.
Oh, really?
Marine electricians often find themselves in ports all over the world,
Okay.
interacting with local technicians, experiencing different cultures, building a global network of colleagues and friends.
Okay, now you're just making me want to trade in my microphone for a tool belt and set sail. But let's be real for a moment. We've talked about the exciting stuff, the problem solving, the camaraderie, the global adventures, but what about the downsides? The guide mentions long hours, potential hazards, and being away from home for extended periods. How does someone considering this path weigh those sacrifices against the rewards?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It boils down to priorities and personality.
Sure.
If you crave a predictable 9 to 5 and weekends off, this probably isn't the career for you.
Right.
But if you thrive on challenge,
Yeah.
if you enjoy working with your hands and to your head, if the idea of exploring the world while keeping essential systems running smoothly excites you, then the sacrifices might be well worth it.
So it's about finding the right fit, knowing yourself and what you're willing to trade for a career that's anything but ordinary. I have to say, this deep dive has been eye-opening. We've gone from basic job descriptions to AI-powered troubleshooting, from cramped engine rooms to the open ocean.
We've really explored it all.
Yeah, we've explored the technical skills, the human element, and the evolving landscape of a profession that's often overlooked, but like you said, always essential.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought.
Okay.
If you're hearing this and something's calling you towards this path, towards those open waters and the challenge of keeping these vital ships running, maybe it's time to see where a little spark of curiosity might lead you. Who knows? You might just find yourself charting a course towards a truly electrifying future.
And there you have it, folks. From humble wiring to navigating the future of tech at sea, that's the life of a marine electrician. Until next time, keep exploring those career currents because you never know what hidden depths you might discover.